roll up your sleeves and get ready to indulge because we're doing some chocolate making and some chocolate tasting today on Go Island. On today's show, a program prevents vehicle break-ins in our parks. An annual event helps salmon restoration. And will BC get the chance to vote on decriminalizing marijuana? All that and more on Go Island.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
Hello, welcome to Go Island. I'm Jen Moran. It's filling in for Karen Elgersma while she's on holidays this summer. And we're at River Road Specialty Chocolates, learning all about this revolutionary kind of chocolate right here in my hands. And I'm joined by the developer and owner of the company, Don Maloney. Hello, Don. So this chocolate here is just one sample of what you do, and it is not what you would find anywhere else. The finest chocolate in the world, you call it, right?
It is. The chocolate I get comes out of France, and the company I get it from is noted world-renowned as one of the best chocolate makers in the world for quality.
How did you first get into chocolate making?
Well, actually, the first way I got into it was I just wanted a hot chocolate to drink. And I went out, but I'm one that tends to look at the ingredients and everything else like that, and I couldn't find anything, and I hunted all over the place to do it. Finally, I got fed up and decided I'd make it myself.
And his hot chocolate, we hear, is amazing. We're going to try that later in the show. But first, it could happen to you. You go to a park, you leave your car, and it could get broken into it. But what if someone could watch your car for you and make sure that doesn't happen? Sucheta Singh has that story. Just a suggestion, if you are going to the park, leave your valuables at home and put your purse in your trunk before you get to the park instead of doing it when you're in the parking lot. So we're here with Don Maloney of River Road Specialty Chocolates, and a little bit earlier we were talking about his revolutionary chocolate, and now we're going to get our hands dirty and we're going to make a bit of chocolate. What are you going to show me here today?
Just, actually all we're doing here is just some light dipping of a few different pretty well fruits that we're doing and such like that. I've got some organic candied ginger that comes out of New Zealand, which that is one of the best ones I've ever found yet. I've got some really nice dried blueberries here, and then we're going to do some monkey tails and kiwi pops, which are frozen chocolate covered bananas and frozen chocolate covered kiwi slices. So I'm just taking a few at a time, putting them in. You're bringing them out, you're shaking off most of the excess chocolate, blend them out so they're not really touching. And I think there's pretty well more antioxidants in the chocolate covering than there is in the blueberry itself.
It is such a dark chocolate, and one interesting point is Don's actually diabetic and he runs a chocolate making company. It's because it's dark chocolate, right?
Yeah, anything over 70% pretty well is fine for diabetics.
So what's your secret when it comes to covering the popsicles with chocolate?
All right, well they're very simple on that. It's with the kiwis on here. Just take it, fully dip, submerge, and just let it sit. You're going to do a bit of wiggle like this, taking off the excess. You'll see it where she's starting to firm up like that, and then you bring her over, and if you just let it sit for about a minute or two, it turns firm and she is ready to eat.
So banana, same trick as the kiwi?
Yep, dip in so it's fully submerged all the way. It's sunk right in. That's it. Now bring it out and just sort of wiggle it back and forth and let a little of that come off. Okay, now do a bit of a twist, bring it upright and roll it in the coconut. It's
kind of like an art here. All right, into the coconut.
And then I'll take just a bit on that, and just for the areas that you can't reach.
Sprinkle it on.
And done.
Look at that. So we're going to finish dipping these items here in the chocolate, and we're going to go to our second story of the day. Wild Pacific salmon. We're known for it here on our coast, and there's fisheries and hatcheries out there that are doing their best to protect our salmon. And next up, Dan Kahn talks about a very special event that's coming up to protect the salmon. For more information on the Consultants Invitational Fishing Derby, you can check out their website. Now I'm joined with Don from River Road Specialty Chocolates, and we were just making a little bit of chocolate, and that's cooling now. And while that's cooling, we wanted to talk about his hot chocolate. Now your hot chocolate is one of a kind. What is it about your hot chocolate that makes it so different?
Well, with this hot chocolate, mine is lactose, sugar, gluten-free. In fact, there's no fillers or chemicals or other weird things you couldn't pronounce anyways in it. All there's in it is cocoa and 2 spices, which cinnamon and cayenne, really. but the cocoa that's in here is some of the finest in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, this bag here, how many cups of hot chocolate could you get out of this?
That's a 100-gram package, and that'll make 40 cups.
You are not going to find that with any other kind of hot chocolate mix out there.
All my competition that I've found so far, 100 grams of theirs will make 3 cups, not 40.
Quite the comparison there. And it's just a small amount that you're using. We've got a comparison here, just a travel mug here. This is about two sizes.
Yeah, it's about 16 ounces. All I'll use to fill that full travel mug is about that much. It's just a slightly rounded teaspoon. For an 8-ounce cup, it's a level teaspoon.
All right, so let's give it a taste. Cheers. Oh, wow. This tastes like creamy hot chocolate just running down your throat. This reminds me of a cold winter day. Well, we're gonna go for a quick break now, but when we come back, we're gonna taste some of the chocolate that we made a little bit earlier in the show, and we're also gonna tell the story of a charismatic bird making a return. Look at this platter of chocolate, absolutely delicious, and half of them we actually dipped ourselves. Welcome back to Go Island. We're here at Tomley's Market, and I'm joined with Don from River Road Specialty Chocolate. We just did a little bit of chocolate making. Now we're gonna do some chocolate tasting. So what do we have here, Don?
Okay, well, the ones we just made this morning were the chocolate-covered dried blueberries, as well as the ginger. Over here we have just a variety of the truffles that we've got.
So let's begin perhaps with the smallest item, the blueberries here.
Now, if you're not having anything else, the taste of the blueberry in there will last probably for over 20 minutes.
So the next we have a chocolate-covered candied ginger, and you're saying this is some of the best ginger in the world. Where do you get this from?
This is an organic candied ginger out of New Zealand, and it's the best I've ever had. I don't know if it's the best in the world, but if there's better ones, I haven't had it yet, and I am always looking.
I am a ginger fan, so this could be dangerous. Oh, wow. Holy smokes, that is so good. I think that one's topped the blueberry.
Basically, it's a white chocolate outer shell dipped in dark chocolate. The center ganache is literally, it's a blonde chocolate with a honey mead. So you get 3 different varieties of chocolate right in this one.
Oh my gosh. That is so good. The honey mixing with the chocolate, getting this creamy texture. Now we're gonna go to our next story now. There's a species of bird that's been gone from Vancouver Island for decades, but there's one organization in the Cowichan Valley that is trying to bring them back. If you think you've seen a western bluebird, you can either email the Bluebird Restoration Team or you can call the Bluebird hotline number. Now I'm here with Imogen, who is the business partner of Don Maloney, and you are all about gluten-free and sugar-free baking.
Absolutely.
Now, how did you get into this?
I've been in the kitchen for a very long time, and I've had a number of friends who either couldn't eat sugar or had developed allergies to gluten. So as a baker, I just wanted to see if I could do it. It was surprisingly easy, and so I developed an entire product line based on the needs of friends and family. There wasn't much available for them, so now there is.
Now, whole product line. Give us an idea. What kind of baking do you do?
Cookies, cupcakes, Rice Krispie squares, cheesecake. I have a huge line of cheesecake.
So what do you have here?
Cupcakes, delicious vanilla cupcakes. I was just going to finish topping those. I've got some of them done already.
And what are in these cupcakes?
Well, instead of using wheat flour, which is in pretty much all baking, I use a rice flour, and because rice flour doesn't have gluten in it, I use another emulsifier. I use xanthan gum, which is celiac friendly, safe for people with sensitivities and allergies or the other health problems that come as a result of gluten sensitivities. So I use that. Makes it light and fluffy, it actually makes it a lot lighter than the wheat flour.
This looks delicious. What are these cupcakes topped with?
Buttercream frosting. Found a gluten-free margarine that I can use, and then I just mix it with the sweeteners and the vanilla. I actually use a locally made vanilla. They use imported Madagascar vanilla beans and they bottle it on the island. It's 100% gluten-free, which I didn't even realize was a factor until about 6 months ago. So yeah, buttercream frosting.
There's so much you learn once you get into this industry. Let's give it a taste. Holy, that is really good. And gluten-free baking is so hard to do. Did it just take a lot of trial and error, or how did you get to this point?
I found that a big thing with the gluten-free baking is all in technique. You can have a decent recipe and make it really, really well or really badly. And unfortunately, the kitchen is a very scary place to a lot of people, especially when it comes to dietary needs. So when it's unfamiliar ingredients and you're trying to make something you're not comfortable with, it's going to come out horrible. This is my playground, so just being able to run amok with unfamiliar ingredients, I was able to do cupcakes that taste like cupcakes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And while I finish this, we're going to go to a quick break. But when we come back, will BC get the chance on voting on legalized pot? And will Ottawa even listen? So we've got to taste chocolate, cupcakes. What's next? We do have one more item left before the end of the show, but I want to thank you all for joining us here on Go Island. For people who are interested in either your baking or your chocolate, where can they find you guys?
Tomley's Market, Douglas and Johnson.
You've got one more item. He calls it the Sparkles for a reason. Now, what is this chocolate all about?
Okay, this one I use as a training to teach people about good dark chocolate. Because if you use the milk chocolate, all you do is you chew it up, swallow it, and it melts like within seconds. A dark chocolate is a high melting temperature, and you put it in your mouth, let it melt, take the time, and you're going to get all the beautiful flavors out of it. This one, actually, I've got a little surprise in there for you. If you actually have the patience to let it sit, so just put it in between the tongue and the roof of your mouth and just let it sit.
We've got the sparkles happening in our mouths. Just popping.
It's a really fun way to work on this that I normally tell people on that is when it does start to talk to you on that a little bit, take a little sip of the hot chocolate. And what you get now is fireworks because everything is exploding in there.
You can't see it, but it's just popping in my mouth right now, just like going crazy. So while this is happening, thank you so much for joining us. Tweet us, Facebook us, email us. Thanks so much for watching.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network, Men's Wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co., Menswear and Accessories, Hair Services provided by Salon J,